Hello, in this example, I just wanted to share how I use or how can we use the um, position absolute and box offset properties. And please see a link to CSS specification below, which describes the offset properties top, right, bottom, and left, and how they can be used with the position, different type of positions. Basically, offsets we can call them offsets or just offset properties. Uh, they define how much the position element is offset from the top edge of its containing block. Um, we can also use negative value. Say, for example, if you put minus negative minus 3 top, it would pull the element up instead of pushing it down. Uh, where you put, say, for example, top just 3 it would push it down, but with minus 3 it would pull it up actually. So I just have quickly 3 examples of how to use this, and I already have the code here. I'm just gonna copy and paste the code. Okay, so what we have here is, as you can see, just a main element, which is a containing block, and we have one div which is inside the containing block. So here basically this is how we use the main as a containing block to position the div. So we give main the position relative, and this is just to establish the position in context for the div. We also give main the width and the height, just some outline, and I used margin 15% auto just to center it on the page, just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so this is our containing block, and this is our position div. So how we position it, we gave it position absolute and the top 50%, which pushes it from the top of the containing block by 50%. Then the bottom 0 and left 50%. So as you can see, I also gave some margin, but just for demonstration purposes, we can remove margin just to see that it actually sits within the bottom right corner of the containing block of the main. Okay, this is the first scenario, pretty straightforward. Also, what is to note here in this scenario is that because width and height properties, they have a default value of auto. In this example, the width and height are actually determined by the top and left offset of the 50%. So this is what makes the box like this is what gives actually the width and the height for that green box, which is our div. Let's see. Okay, here. So this is because it's pushed from here, and because it's pushed from here, so the div becomes. So this is the width and the height. So auto takes on those properties 50%. Okay, what else to just about this scenario is, yeah, so position relative here is, excuse me, position relative here is just given to establish the position context. So, but say for example, if we give it like the say top, I don't know, like let's say 10 a.m. So you see it pushes it top from the top. So but we if we remove it, so nothing happens. So this is just so this relative position relative, just to establish the context for div. Okay, so that's the first one. So next one we have is position outside containing block. So I also have the code already here, so I'm just gonna copy and paste. Okay, so it's the same. Main is given same properties as in the previous example. um, what happens with the div is, because we give top minus 5 a.m. and then the right minus 3 a.m., it pushes the box outside of the main of the container containing block. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it pushes it top and pushes it to its top minus 5, so it's outside, and then the left and and then the right, it pushes it to the right, it's minus 3 a.m., negative 3 a.m. So that's basically what happens with the negative value. Okay, so next example is, say for example, we want to position this div so that it takes only 50% of the containing block. So we can achieve this by this example, by the CSS rules. Let's see here. Okay, so what happens here is basically main is the same properties, but what happens with the div? So we give it again position absolute, and we give it position absolute, and then the right offset 50%. Okay, so because it's pushed 50% actually from the right side of the main, it's pushed 50% to the left. So it again because the width is 50%. Sorry, because the width is the outer value, so it takes on that 50%. So let's see what happens. Okay, you see that's our position div, which is green background. So it's pushed 50% from the right edge of the containing block. So it makes this div um, the width of 50% of the containing block. Okay, that's basically it. Again, I'm just going through some exercises, so just wanted to give myself a little bit of a refresher on those important fundamentals as positioning. And if somebody benefits from it, I would be only happy. And as always, thank you for watching.